Hello everyone, my name is Kate Marshall. The name of my channel is called Inked Paper Art, and today is day 109 of 365 days of junk journal ideas. Today we are making library card pockets in two different styles and stuffing them full of ephemera to use in your journal. So let's go ahead and get started making the pockets. I'm going to show you two different styles of making them, and I'm making them out of book page. My book pages are rag paper book pages. You just want to make sure that if you are making them out of book page, use a sturdy book page. You can use any size book page. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to make a couple smalls and a couple larges. So I'm going to pull 3 of these gigantic dictionary pages, and then we just need something maybe in the medium size. I'm looking for thicker, sturdier pages. Maybe these will work. So let's use a couple of those. All right. So for the high back ones, high back library card pockets, we're going to start out with a larger size paper. And again, you can make these out of any size. So I'll give you the dimensions of what I'm making them out of and how I'm making them, and then you can tailor that to whatever you're doing. Okay, let's start out with one of these. We're going to take our paper. If your paper is directional, like I want to see these letters up here at the top of the page, it's a dictionary page, so I'm going to leave those at the top. I'm going to start out by making a 1-inch fold across the bottom of my paper, and it's approximate. You don't stress about it. Just fold it over about 1 inch. And then from there, you're going to pull up that pocket. This is your pocket part right here, as high as you want it to go. If you want it deeper, lower, whatever in between, just make it how you want it to go. And luckily I have these lines right here, so that helps me line it up. Okay, so there is that part. Now, you could cut this into several different pockets and just glue it. I want to make my style of library card pockets where the paper wraps around to the back of it also. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to take my little part where I folded, and I'm going to take that and work on just that section for a moment. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to work on just that little folded section, and I'm going to cut it to where, there's some overhang. I'll show you here in just a second after I'm done flipping it around. Okay, so what I did is I cut from the bottom of my pocket up the sides, and I only cut to the fold line. And I'll show you here in just a second. This is what I did. I cut the bottom part where we folded up just a certain, just however far I thought I needed to cut off excess paper. And then from there, I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to take this and unfold it. So basically you have a piece of paper that looks like this. You are going to remember this part here is the part we're going to see when we're done. So this is the back side now. Now on the back side, let me move these so it doesn't get confusing. On the back side, you're going to take these little flaps right here, and you're going to fold the whole thing, including this section here, over. Fold it all over about, I'm going to say, just make it the size that you want it. But for down here, just so you know, it's about 1/2 inch. Okay, and then we're going to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side where we fold it over. And again, we're making it about 1/2 inch, keeping it as straight as you can. And there's that. So in the end, it's going to look something like that. And you're like, okay, well, these are on the wrong side. Hold on. We're going to snip over there, snip and snip. So you snip the short little section here. And now we're going to unfold it again. We're still on the back side. We're going to use the glue stick, which is over here, and we're going to glue the back part of these flaps. And we're going to fold those top big flaps in. And this is just to strengthen my pocket, really. And it's just, you could cut these off, but I think adding the weight of them is going to strengthen my pocket. So I'm going to fold those over. There we go. Now the top section has been completely reinforced, And now we're going to flip it over and start working on the front of our pocket again. This is our pocket here, and this little flap folds in, right? That's that. And you have these extra little wings here, and those are going to wrap around to the back. So just to show you, this is what you had on the front side, because we've glued these pieces down in the back. You're going to fold your pocket up again, fold in that first 1-inch flap that we made. Now you have these two little flaps that were scored because we folded them on the back side, and you're going to wrap those around and glue those down. And I need to get a little glue under there. Glue those down with your glue stick. Wrap them around to the back, keeping them straight, and just glue those down. And then glue here. Get a little glue under there. I got glue on my mat, and fold those over. So now you should have everything reinforced. Everything is reinforced. The only thing I saw was we had a little bit of the flap from the backside showing right here at the bottom. Very carefully cut that off. And then we have our library card pocket, right? It's all reinforced. It's all thick and sturdy. We need to round the top edge here. And so to do that, you're just going to start, you could use a corner rounder, of course. Just start and curve that around. We got a little bit sticking out there from the back too. And then I only like to cut corners, rounded corners. I only like to cut them from the right. I don't like to cut them from the left. So that's how I ended up with hand cut round corners. And then this is your library card pocket. It looks pretty similar to this guy. Not exact, but pretty similar. His pocket is wider. It's wider, and we could have folded ours less and ended up with that look too. But that's pretty similar, just one way of making this, and this is very sturdy. So let's set that to the side, and let's do another one. This is the smaller one. We have a page here. Let's use these two. So this guy, he's pretty thin paper, and the easiest way to correct that situation before we begin is to just add some glue in there. I'm not going to glue super heavy because I don't want it to be too wet. But I've added some glue, close it over, and now instantly my paper is twice as thick before I begin. So from there, decide which side you like the best. I like these spots on this side, so I'm going to use that. And so for this one, it's very similar. You're just going to fold over about 1 inch, and that's just, just to sturdy up. It's to reinforce this part of the pocket. You don't have to fold it over, but I think it makes it stiffer and nicer when you're sliding things in and out so it doesn't tear. So anyway, we're going to just go ahead and glue up that flap right there. And I'm purposely adding just a small amount of glue because I don't want it to become too wet. And then you're going to fold up your pocket. So this is the low back. This is the low back library pocket. And I want to see some writing back there, but not all of it necessarily. So I folded that up. And from here, if you want to reinforce the back and fold these flaps over, you can do the same thing we did before. So we folded up the 1 inch, we folded up the depth of our pocket and the height of our back of our pocket. We made that. And now we're going to unfold it all. Remember, this is the front side. Unfold it all, flip it over to the back. Then from there, you're going to make a fold like this. Folding it over however far you want to fold it. And this time we're going to glue these to the back, and we're going to make this just a little reinforcement there. So we just fold it over the sides on the back part. Now unfold it, flip it to the front again, fold it back up, and you can see, okay, so for me, I want to cut in right here. We're working on the front of the envelope. I want to cut in right here, and you're going to cut just on that side of the fold line, on the pocket side of the fold line. There we go. I'm going to cut these off because I don't need the back of this one to be reinforced because we added 2 pages of book page, right? We used 2 pages instead of 1, so I don't really need that part. There's that. Okay, looking good. And then this is our front. We're going to fold this guy up. We're going to flip it over to the back and glue these guys down. Glue these guys down. I don't have a glue sheet in here today. And then we're going to fold them back over, fold them back over. So this is a nice way of making your own library card pockets. You don't need a die or an envelope punch board or anything like that. You can just simply make them yourself. So there's our pocket. And now we're going to take our corner rounder or our scissors and just cut them over like that. And I only like to cut from the right. There we go. And there's that one. Now this one does have a little bit of overhang here. Perhaps I didn't pull this over. There we go. I didn't pull over my back flap to reinforce. Anyway, we made our own library card pockets in the short kind, the short style and the tall style. And the next part of this video is filling them full of all kinds of fun ephemera. And I cut out a big old bunch. So here are our pockets. I pulled out all my little fun bits to stuff them with. I'm going to stuff them with some children's school exercise workbooks from France. These are antique ones. I'm going to put some music paper, which is not antique, but nice music paper. These are offcuts of ledger pages. So when I had to cut down a page for a certain project or whatever, I just kept the offcuts. I have some Holtz Strips in here. I also have all of my tickets that are my digital on Etsy, and they're all cut out and inked around. And down here, I have my pile of tags. They're just some of the tags from the digital in Etsy. And so I cut out, there's a bunch more down here somewhere. And I need them because we're going to stuff our pockets with all of this fun stuff. And so the idea behind this is a floating pocket that you can just paper clip into. I also have some paper clips. Yes, I do. That you can just paper clip into a journal, like on a page of a journal. And it's filled with all kinds of fun things that can be journaled on, or the person who gets the journal or you yourself can use all of the fun bits for decorating and playing in your journal. So let's go ahead and get started with the filling of pockets. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fill some music paper in there. And all the things that I'm putting in here today are just bits and pieces that are meant to be kind of haphazardly put in there. You're not supposed to, like, the look I'm going for is not perfect cut. It's not straight. It's just bits and pieces. This is a great project. If you are using up all the last little bits from a project, so say you just made a series of journals, and in that series of journals you have a bunch of offcuts left over, this is a great project for using all those little scrappy bits that are left over after making a journal. So anyway, I've got some of this stuff all pulled and torn, and we're just going to start filling. I also am going to fill a couple of these guys up, and then I don't know if we'll decorate them, but we'll fill them. Maybe we'll decorate them. And so for these pieces, the first thing I want to do is I want to layer according to size. So the first thing is I'm going to take a couple of these strips, just whatever ones are laying here on the top, and I'm going to size them to fit into these envelopes or these little pockets. And so for me, it's just, I'm going to cut a short one and a long one. I'm going to ink them later, but for now, they're going to go in there and go in there. And those are just little fun bits. You can, you can cut these apart later and use in bits and pieces, or you can just use them whole. And then I want to put a tag in the back of that pocket before we get too far. So let's put a tag back here, because there needs to be a tag in a pocket, right? So we're just going to start layering, and then let's put this tag back here. Well, maybe we'll save this tag. We'll use this one. This little pink guy. Yes, little pink one. It's a lot of pink though. Okay, I changed my mind. I do have to be happy with them. Even though they're fast mix, I do have to be happy with them. So there's a pink tag and a natural colored tag, couple pieces of Holtz. Then let's add some little bits of ledger and our music paper. There's our music paper. And so I'm just going to tear that. That's just going to get tucked in there. This guy's going to get tucked in here. just scrappy little bits. Let's put some handwriting. The reason why I like to use the school book paper is because it's instant authenticity, age. Everyone loves getting the little bit of French handwriting in their journal to play with. So just a little scrap that they can make a cluster with. They can embellish a page that they're working on in their journal. So for this little bit, I'm just going to fold it over so that they get the whole piece. And we're going to tuck that back in there. And then tuck this one back in there. I want to save that word. And let's tuck this in the back. There we go. That means behind the tag. Okay. So you're doing a collage basically, but you're doing this collage with ephemera. You're putting it all and arranging it all so that it looks good to the eye. The same way that you would make a little collage, you're just making a larger collage and it's going into a pocket. And so now I want to do some little bits of ledger, and I just looked for pieces that had more writing and decoration on them. So we'll tuck that in the very back there. I want to be able to see it all. And so just like when you do a collage, you don't want to cover things up. That's what I'm fighting with right now, is covering things up. All right, so there's that. I think this music, it might have to go in the back. I think it does. That's better. At least I can see all my little bits now. Okay, so we're just working. You see everything just fell in there. It's because I'm hitting the end of this purple paper where I folded it over. That's the problem with folding things over and then sticking them in a pocket. Okay, so we got ledger in that one. We need to get ledger in this one. Again, I want it all the way in the back without bumping up against things. Okay, good. Now we need some tickets. And then we need a little bit more ephemera in them. So I kept these pretty pink. Let's do a neutral colored ticket. Something like, I can't. I have to do that one there. And a neutral colored one for this one. That's okay. I'm okay with that one. And then we could also do like a regular piece of the Tim Holtz, a little strip, but something that we've already cut down. So let's do this one tucked back in here, just mostly for color, for interest. So it's just a little cute stuffed pocket with little bits in it. Let's stick this one over here. There we go. Little pockets stuffed with little bits that the journal owner can take out and play with. You could put coffee dyed paper on the back here, or you could glue these in as regular pockets as well. And these are all sturdied up and they feel very thick and nice and fluffy. You could add a couple more little things in them, but let's go ahead and talk about decorating them. The rag paper is so beautiful and it feels so good in the hand. I don't know that you have to decorate these, but if you were going to, just do a little collage down there too. I don't really see anything off the top of my head that has to go on them, but you could just make something small like that, just something little and small to decorate them. But anyway, so there's those two. Let's talk about these two that we do need to decorate. These two here, these are the pre-made tall back ones. And I'm going to do basically the same thing, but let's get started with the layering of them first. And these ones are taller. So we're going to cut our little pieces, stick those guys in there. Let's get the black handwriting pages. And we're just going to fold that over. It's a beautiful piece. I'm going to stick that in there. Perfect. And then let's get this little section. So again, instead of using new pieces, like where I'm tearing this down, this could just be scraps from your project. And so there's that. We'll tuck him over there. And then we need some tags. I think we'll use this guy. He goes better colorway with this one. So we'll use this guy back there, and you can, punch out your holes and all that kind of stuff. And then I have this little guy, which I think would be cute poked in there too. And then some ledger. Let's see if we have a little bit bigger piece of ledger. Maybe I guess we can use these. That's all right. Get a little ledger in there. A little ledger. This guy needs a tag. Oh, no, we did a tag. We need a different tag. We need this tag. So that tag goes back there. So you're stuffing your pockets, working your pieces around so that you're happy with them in the end. I have tags in both. I have handwriting in both. I have ledger in both. I have 2 of these little Tim Holtz pieces in both. I'm going to do another little number in this one. And then I think I want regular tags. Let's do this lavender tag, or ticket, sorry, tickets. And then I think there's a light blue ticket over here. So I kind of color themed them so that everything inside of the pocket looks good together. Maybe stuck out a little bit, but cute. Now let's decorate the front of the pocket. So just cute little, quick little stuffed pockets. These, again, you could just take a paper clip and clip them to the edge of a page. Just, if I can get my paper clip to work, clip it to the edge of a journal page, and then the person can take it out. Maybe they want to stick the pocket in a particular place in their journal. Let's decorate down here now. We have both of these in kind of purples and blues and that theme. You know, we could just take a strip and we could cut these little girls off of a strip and decorate that bottom part too. Like this one doesn't have little children on it, so we could definitely do that here. It's just giving us a quick little focal point for our pocket. So we'll layer some things up and we'll put those little girls on there. This one, I think I need to keep this one more blue. Purple would have been good on that one. Again, I could use that little part and come across there. So let's get something, book page, whatever, behind both of these. And I've got focal points for that one, and we'll find some other focal points back there. I've got this little bit of book page. What else do I have? This is a good one. So this little bit, we can just tear. And I'm just going to go down at an angle. And one can go on one side, one can go on the other side. Perfect. And then I'm just going to rough tear this. Now, normally I would, you know, layer up my pocket and decorate it well before I filled it. But for this video, we kind of did it reverse. So there's those little bits. There's my little girls. I guess the girls are going over here now. There's a little label. And we need something to blend those two together. And we also need something blue to decorate this one up with. And I know there are some more blue strips back here somewhere. We have little boys, but we also already have little girls, so I won't do that. But let's use these strips for our focal points too. We can even use basically both of those. And I like this over here this way. So we'll do that. Love it. Perfect. And then we need something to blend the two pieces together. And wouldn't you know it, there's a little number right here. So that's great. Love that. We just need a little element here. And if I had a little, a little butterfly, we could use that right there. So that's how I'm going to decorate those. And this guy needs a postage stamp or some other little element. But let's get these glued down. We can call this project good. I don't know if I have glue paper. I don't think I do. I kept looking in my pile over here as I was making the pockets themselves, and I didn't see a glue paper. So my mat's just going to get gluey here for a second. It is what it is. I don't know where it went, but I'll have to go get one before I do any more projects in this room today. So there's that. I'm just going to fold that over. There's that one. I'm going to run some ink on this little picture quick just so that it doesn't look so brand new, because we just cut it off of the strip. And I think we're going to cut off the bottom part of it anyway. There's that. This is a sticker, and this guy needs inked. We're going to ink our little labels. We'll be done in 2 seconds. Not really, but will be done soon, and then I'll show you the finished ones of these. And of course, you know, you could decorate them with anything, but we just had this stuff right here, so we're doing it. So just cut up your strips and use them to put in the pocket, and use them to decorate the pocket themselves. So again, it's terrible to put glue on your mat like this, but the wallpaper that's down here on this mat is textural, and when I glue on it, boy, it really does stick to the glue, doesn't it? Okay, so there's that. And again, same thing. I'm just going to wrap over that little edge right there, right to the inside, and that can go wrapped to the back. There's our book page. It was a little crooked. Got it straightened out. Okay, that's all good. Let's get these glued down with some art glitter glue and finish them off. Okay, so I hope you guys are having a great Saturday. Sorry my video is late. As you guys know, I am busy working on stuff. I did get all the kits that were paid for shipped this morning, so if you paid your invoice for your kit by Saturday morning, your kit has already been shipped to you. It's already at the post office and on its way. If you still have an invoice out there, then you know what to do with it. And Italian paper is currently being sorted, so we're working. We're getting there, slowly but surely. One little other element on this guy. I don't know what. If I had another butterfly, I would stick another butterfly on there. But that's the progress of things here. I know, you know, some of you guys don't even know or care what I'm talking about, but for those that did, there was your update. I'm just going to squeak that all the way over there. We need a little bit cut off the bottom, I believe, but good there. And so I will see you guys on Tuesday. We'll start that new journal kit, because I have a new journal kit. That's what I was talking about. I will start that new journal kit on Friday, I believe, because I did ship, making sure you guys would get them. I shipped them priority mail, so I made sure you guys would all get them. I don't know if I can get the back of this off, but I'm going to sure try. I shipped them priority mail so that you guys would all get them, and we can do them on Friday. So I will have a new journal series beginning on Friday. Yes. And the new journal series will be making a fairy journal. It's a really shabby chic, lovely, lacy, you know, as pink or as fairy as you want it to be. It doesn't have to be either, but that's the way I'm doing mine. Just fitting my butterfly on there. Okay, so we have some that needs cut off the bottom of this guy. And then, of course, you would want to ink your pocket up. These were the brand new pockets. These were not the ones we made. These were the brand new pockets that were the tall back. There's a little sliver right there. The tall back library card pockets. Let me get my glue pin in. And then, I don't know whether other updates I need to give, but if you guys need something, reach out. There's a Facebook challenge going on in the Facebook group, which is super fun so far. That's the first one. And of course, it will look cuter inked, but then you just paper clip this right to the page, or you can glue it down as a traditional pocket. Here's the other one. And I do need one more element for this guy. And I'm looking to see if I had anything that I could have fit in there that is the right color. I don't have it in front of me, but I'm sure somewhere there's something that can be put there. I just don't have it in front of me. Like, I just need a little flower, a little something. Like, I could have even cut off part of this flower, but I don't have the right one. Anyway, I will add one more little element down to this area and then ink everything up. But you saw how cute they were, how easy they were. And then, of course, we did make some of our own pockets. I don't know where they have gone. Oh, over here. We made some of our own pockets that also will be decorated in a similar fashion. But that's what we did, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Go make some library card pocket envelopey things, fill them up, and have fun. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your weekend. I'll see you guys again in the morning. Bye.